welcome back to Sticks and Strings. I'm Naomi.
And Beth.
I'm Eve.
And we are well into September. I'm going to start off this with I just have to say that our hearts and prayers go out to Charlie Kirk's family. And what happened this week really has affected me very deeply. So I don't want to be glib and just pretend like nothing awful happened this week. So I just wanted to say that. But we are back with all of our various crafts. Me, I only have one craft to talk about today. But grab your craft, your sticks and your strings, your favorite beverage. Boy, do I have a story about these beverages.
What?
I have another story about these beverages every week.
Did you go to our McDonald's?
No. I wish I had. Okay, so grab your drink, grab your sticks and your strings, whatever iteration you use, and let's settle in for a chat. I'm going to go first. I've been quite monogamous, and I've been working on only one thing, and that is this sea foam. Is that what it's called? I call it my Esther shawl, Stormy Seas shawl. Sorry, Beth.
It's so pretty.
I'm gonna let you, Eve, hold that so you can kind of really stretch it out. I've been working on it basically exclusively. All these little dangly things are stitch markers. I should have been using stitch markers from the beginning, and maybe I wouldn't have lost my place so many times. But anyway, it's a really easy pattern if anybody's interested. And it's this big, and I'm on the work this 3 more times and end it area. But it says if you want to make it larger, you knit more repeats, and I think I need to because look at all this yarn. So I do want to make it.
You can make a shawl and a scarf and a hat.
Yeah, I do want to make it as big as possible. So I'm just plugging away, and I get sleepy and I lose my place, and I've watched a lot of movies with this shawl, and it turns out and now the row, I asked to go first today because the rows are so long that once I start, I won't be through a whole row for a while. So, but the rows are so long now that I have to use a lot of these stitch markers to keep my place and make sure I'm on the right count. There's several times where I had to add a stitch here and add a stitch, and I'm like, wait a minute, I thought I had the right amount.
Happens to me all the time.
I think a lot of it is that with these yarn overs, I might be accidentally adding a stitch instead of dropping them. So, but it's fine. I mean, you'll never be able to know, and no one will know but me. So anyway, so this is what I have been doing. That's all I've been doing. I did have some fiber news. I decided, so as part of Eli's birthday, our gift to him was to get he has a adult tricycle, and he's been having a lot of problems with it. The chain keeps popping off, and then his tires are old. So for his birthday, we said we're gonna overhaul it for you. So we transported it over there today, and I was like, overhaul. So I took my sewing machine. Finally, I've owned this Juki. It's a Juki quilting 2010 Q, I think is what it is. For
Service.
Several years.
You took it for service?
Yeah, so I finally took it into Mall Queen and took it in for a complete service. I'm like, I'm sorry, I've been a bad baby. But I mean, it's been great. It hasn't had any problems. It's just probably needs cleaning and oil oiled up and stuff. And the little bobbin door broke, so I'm going to see if they can fix that for me. But so I took it in and I dreamed all over, and I may or may not have gotten something for Christmas present. So
once upon a time, I used to be a fairly capable bicycle person.
Oh.
My friend Janet, when we were in graduate school, I used to, I did a little bit of work on my bike and stuff,
Yeah.
and she said, "You think like a man."
Oh,
I was like,
no, you think like a smart person.
yeah, I just
It has nothing to do with man.
bicycle
Not man.
stuff.
What was I gonna say? So that was fun. That was my little. But then they said it'll be about 2 weeks. I was like 2 weeks, but I had plans anyway. So I took that in. So that'll be nice. I'll get it back. I'll be all set for whatever holiday sewing things I need to do. And there was something else I was going to talk about, but I don't. Oh, so while Hannah was here, she started making herself a sweater. And she looked for pattern, she just decided to make it herself. So she just started from the collar ribbing and then went on her own. I don't know, whatever. It was what she wanted to do. And but then I was talking about socks and how socks are nice because you start it and then you just have kind of mindless knitting. Then you make a heel, which is, complicated. You have to use your brain, and then you just get to mindless knit, and then you make a toe, and that's a little complicated, right? So
I just remembered today, oh yeah, I have another sock to make.
yeah, second sock syndrome. So she was she goes, yeah, maybe I should look into making socks. And I was like, okay, girl, you like to do this whole, I'm just gonna wing it. No, you have to actually learn how to make socks. So I sent her, I purchased and sent her a pattern by Stacey Perry, which is, and she has companion videos, and it's worsted weight, so it's a thicker weight yarn and bigger needles, so you learn how to do everything and you can see what you're doing and everything. And I sent it to her and I said, read this while you're waiting, and I'm going to get you all the supplies. So I went to Tempe Yarn and Fiber last week and I got her a ball of real pretty blue yarn. She chose the color, and some double pointed needles, and I bought her point protectors because when you're working on 3 needles, it's very easy for the stitches on the other 2 to fall off while you're working on the one. So I bought her point protectors, and I bought her some darning needles because I don't know if she has any or the right size, and the needles. And I said, and if you enjoy this, then you can go off down the little sock rabbit hole that all of us are on. And I said, but just really absorb these videos and take your time and actually follow pattern. Anyway, so I did that, and we just mailed that box off to her this morning, and she's very happy because she's going to get it. She has a trip up to Maine for a week-long playing gig in Maine and I guess Western Mass, something, I don't know where all she's going to be, but she's like, I'll be able to knit it, learn my socks in my downtime. So that was kind of a fun fiber adventure. Hopefully she'll take to it. But Stacey Perry, very good learner. So what I did with her is I had my own sock pattern. It was just like a red heart sock pattern, but it was very traditional, cuff down, heel flap and gusset sock, and then, and so that's actually how I very first found Stacey Perry. And because she was like, follow along in your own pattern, the pattern she has, but I was just watching for the techniques, and so I learned how to do it, even though I didn't have her exact pattern. So I thought, well, this is a good thing for Hannah to start with. So anyway, so that's me. I'm all done.
Okay.
That's my week. I've just been working on this, and that's it.
So I have an FFO. I've FFO'd my Biscornu.
Oh,
I bought some flower buttons,
oh, that's cool.
and I put a yellow one on the back and a red one on the front. The red one
Beautiful.
Matched
It's
so
perfect.
well.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to use an orange one to match the orange flowers.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I bought flowers. But the orange was like more sherbety than orange.
This is really cool.
So
And it doesn't cover up any of the any of the pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have some pictures I can show you here.
Really
So-
pretty. Congrats.
So I'm all excited. And then I have 2 finishes. I finished Hands-On Design Blueberry, the berry basket.
I saw that online. I saw that on your Instagram. I don't know why I thought it was going to be huge.
No, the berries are little.
The hair in her garden's huge.
Oh, okay.
But the berry basket berries are, they're skinny, they're long and
I
skinny.
know, that's what I thought they
Compared
would. I thought it'd be longer, but that's so pretty.
Yeah.
I love
Wow.
it. And now I have on my WIP-GO is the next one, the blackberry one.
I was gonna say, the one you did before was
Strawberry.
strawberry. Okay.
Yeah. I thought I'll get them all done, and by that time I might have my sewing machine and be able to make the berries. And then I
What
also,
did they say in Little Women? You can come over and play mine. Oh, but you can't for 2 weeks. Never mind.
You can come over and what?
You know, in Little Women, when she's like, when I marry, I'm going to be disgustingly rich. And then somebody says something about a piano. And she goes, well, you can come over and play mine.
I also finished Tiny Modernist Winter Deer.
So cool.
Sorry about all the paper wrestling. Look at him. Isn't he cute?
You finished it.
Isn't he
Oh
adorable?
my God.
I love the way the backstitching just brings everything out.
Little face.
Little face.
It's a little Disney face.
And,
Too.
and the little bobbles
And all
on his
the-
neck.
And all the, I love
Tiny
the ornaments.
Modernist does cute so well.
The ornaments on his antlers.
Well, and I love the gold on one of those ornaments, and all. It's just the detail is really good.
Look
Yeah.
at that.
Mm-hmm.
That's really beautiful, Eve.
I'm so happy. Now I just have to find
The perfect setting for it.
Mhm.
That's so cute. Oh my gosh.
Okay, and I did not cut it with a whole bunch of extra on the outsides like people want, so like I don't have enough extra for that thing because they had it where it was just like this, because I normally don't do that. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'll think about it. And right now I'm working on Dog Days. This is a free pattern by Silver Creek Samplers, and I have some of the back put in and some I'm working on the body and the back kind of at the same time. I can't wait to stick in that lolling tongue. But I wanted to work on something that didn't require tons of concentration while we were doing it, because the next project that I'm going to be concentrating on is it's called Candy Swirls. This one right here,
Oh, yeah.
and it's stitched in DMC satins. DMC satin. I couldn't work on that here because I try not to cuss on camera. So any of you who've worked with DMC satin, you know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I was like, that doesn't look like they were crossed over. So
Oh.
my vision is 20/20, but I can't see little things without, no, it's right. I can't see little things without the reading glasses, so, that's okay. That's fine. Then my temperature chart, under the sea temperature chart, designed by myself for Three Sisters Creative, our Etsy shop. And And it is cooling off. It was almost exactly the same temperature all week long. Look at that.
Mm.
I can't believe it's September already. Oh my gosh.
So I think it'll finish like right about here.
Mm.
So I need to do these down so that I need to do these down
The
so that I
seam.
can work on the bottom.
Mm.
There's gonna be a crab here. Anyway. It was a very, that's to this.
Yeah.
It was very temperate this week. It was low hundreds, 100.
Almost human. We're almost there.
Unless you're working on stuff, then it's 100. It's like if you're working outside on something, it's still 100, but it's not horrible. And then my second new start, my WIP-GO call for September, is the Stitch Toolbox Cobblestone Castle. And I'm going to do it also on this. This is Endora by Needle and Flax.
Mm.
That's what I did the first new start on Tabby's Halloween. But I'm probably not going to, I have to start from the bottom up because there's nothing in the middle and there's nothing on the top. So I'm starting on this pumpkin over here in the corner. I'm like, yeah, I probably won't get much more than a pumpkin. But I'm going to start that on the 15th. It's a busy day on the 15th, so hopefully I'll get time to do some stuff
What is
on
the
it.
15th? Is that Monday?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but, yeah. So, my crochet. I have 6 of the 11 that I need of these heptagons. I took the last 2 rows off of all of them that were completed and redid them because I realized when I was doing the one I was working on, that is not right. I did not do it right. I did not understand the instructions. There's a place where it says,
You didn't understand the assignment.
there's a place where it says 3 increase. And I thought that was increase 3 times, right? No, it's 3 increase, put 3 stitches in the same stitch.
Oh, that's not the same thing. I wouldn't have thought that either.
Yeah, but they have a picture
Oh.
that's kind of like hard to decipher. And I was like, why is this not working? I don't have enough real estate, for me to get that 1 row. And I was like, and then it didn't look like it has the corners, but look, it has corners now.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
nice.
It's amazing what happens when you do it right. So I have 6 of these, but now they should go faster because
You know how to do it.
I know what I'm doing.
It's weird how that works.
And then I have to learn another sections. And then the final section, right? And then I have to put the freaking thing together.
Oh, yeah, sewing together is the worst.
Well, they have this diagrams and pictures, and I'm like, oh, that is clear as mud.
I don't do very well. The only one thing that I completed was that vest for Hannah. I don't do very well where I have to make a bunch of things, and
Oh, and I forgot to show the picture,
oh yeah.
what I
It's
was
cute.
making. So I'm making, right now, I was making like what you see up here. A little flower. But next I have to make the legs. They're the same, but not the same. Okay, so I don't have enough space for all my junk. By the way, these are called, it's reindeer African flowers. I don't know what makes these African flowers, but that's what it says. And they're by Crochet-ify. So I did as I said. I took apart, I was working on this one right here, and I took it apart and I just adjusted the pattern. So I finished it. It's actually going to be like that or like that. I don't know.
No, yeah.
Now it's even on both sides and makes me happier. So after I put ears, I just put in little eyes and it's done. And I tell you, the one I made, the cat, the one that I made before, the cat, I use it all the time. I put my glasses in it. And,
Cute.
you know, and it looks, I have the sunglasses that I used to have. I have them in there and he looks all cool. So this is coming along. I just have to make some ears. And then decide which other ones I'm going to make that I need to make. I don't know. Maybe none, maybe all of them. I don't know. And then I'm working on the autumn pumpkin. I did the, I think this is called a moss stitch, M-O-S-S stitch, which I always do too tight. And then this one is lemon peel stitch, which I've never done before. And I like the way it looks.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah. It does look like a lemon peel.
Yeah, it does. And then this last one is plaid. So I
That's really
have
cool.
like,
That's gonna be I don't know why when you showed me the picture I thought the pumpkin was gonna be like this. It's gonna be huge.
yeah.
Neat.
So I have 3.5 more sections to go. And the stem. But I'm enjoying doing that.
That's fun.
I don't know if it'll be done while it's still autumn, but you know.
It'll be autumn next year. Isn't that what you always say?
And then I forgot to show my blanket last week.
I put a
I
picture
know,
in.
I saw the picture and I was very thankful. But
Dogs are arguing.
they're arguing for real estate. So
Stop. Come here.
there's
Come down.
this stitch which is supposed to look, okay, did the candles, and then this one's supposed to look like wrapping paper. This one
Oh,
right
that's
here.
neat.
And then this is snowflakes.
Mm-hmm.
This is a feather stitch to look like pine needles.
Oh, okay. I like the candles. When I was looking at the picture that I posted, I was like, that's cool with the little flames.
And they were supposed to be a cranberry red, but I really love the way the blue came out. Oh, sorry.
Dogs.
My dog is choking.
She's just hacking. She's not joking. Yeah, I like the blue candles. I thought that was cool.
And I'm just,
The only thing I can think is like you're gonna get your toes stuck in there if you're using it for a blanket.
yeah.
My toes stuck.
But it's not very wide for a blanket.
I know.
So
It's just to be
You
pretty
should
on
put
the
on your
couch.
lap when you're watching TV or something.
And then the breeze will come through those holes.
those aren't going to be the only holes there are. So there's the holes in the snowflakes.
Yeah.
Do you,
You know,
just say you need to go out.
no, he doesn't go out that door. He pretends to go out that door. My grandmother crocheted me a Afghan for when I got married, and it's a stitch that she used often. And my ex-husband, this is not why he's an ex, but let me just say it's one of the reasons. He would stretch, he loved that blanket, and he would stretch and he would stick his toes through the stitches and pull. I was like, stop it. You know, because as she got older, sometimes the
Yeah.
blending of the stitches wasn't as good as it could be, and I'm just like, I'm gonna kill you. Anyway, that's me.
Okay. This here. Try to play thread chicken enough to finish that section. So I have 2 finishes, and I'm working on one of my new starts now. So for September, at the beginning of the month, I started on one of my WIP-GO WIPs, and I finished it. I worked on this, I think I showed it last week. As I was talking about this fabric and whether or not to do the waves and all that. And I did. One of the things I did.
Oh, it's cool.
Yeah, one of the things I did
me
was
see.
this box here that says Isaiah 43:2, 43:2. I had done the pink around the box and around the verse, and when I went to do the pink behind the crab, I realized I had mixed the 2 colors up. Because that pinky color is used like in the little cheeks on the fish here, and for some reason I mixed it up, and because on the crab, the pink of his cheeks and then the pink around in the box is a different color, and so I pulled it all out and redid it. Because I thought, well, I could just reverse it, and I thought, no, I'm gonna pull them all out.
Make it right.
Yeah.
Looks great.
And then the whale and the octopus they're like 1 stitch off here, there, and so like I added a stitch here
You didn't tell us, nobody
for the spout. Yeah. So I added a stitch for the spout, and actually one of these little white stitches, part of its spouting thing, is like off by half. And so I was like, that's okay, it'll work. And then when I was doing the waves, I had to on a couple of them, I had to kind of just fudge what was there and leave a stitch out or whatever, so that they wouldn't be touching where it wasn't supposed to touch or whatever. But I thought, they're all waves. Nobody can really tell where they are.
Boy.
If they're correct or not. But what was terrible is that, at one point, there's 4 or 5 of them, all one above the other, right? And I would be kind of drowsy stitching them, and then I'd accidentally try to put a stitch down here on this one that I already done instead of this one where I was working. And I was like, wait, why is this not right?
I've lost it.
What'd you lose?
I lost the stitch. Oh, there it is.
But yeah, so I had to stop and correct myself, make sure I was in the right place. But I put I had forgotten to put the little smile on this octopus.
Sleep stitching is why I have so many mistakes in this shop.
So anyway, this is 2/2 on 28 count Monaco Lugana. Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. It's really pretty, and I like the way it came out. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but there it is. And then, this is by Sweet Wing Studio is the designer for this. Susan O'Brien is the designer for Sweet Wing Studio. Studio. And then the other WIP was this little freebie from Diane Williams of Little House Needleworks. This is from 2013, and I don't even remember if I came across it on her website or where I came across it, but this little freebie called 7 Pines, and here it is. I finished it.
Now that one is ornament size.
Yeah, this is 46 count oak Bristol, which is a Hobby Lobby fabric.
It's so cute. It's so small.
Yeah, and because it's so small, there's a little mistakes here and there. Because they're like, I'm like, oh, this is like, it was really hard to see, is this 3, like over 2 stitches, over 3 stitches? I don't know what I'm doing. And so there's a couple of places where it's kind of fudgy that way. But there's a little snowman in there. And I used, instead of ecru, I used B5200 because we've talked about that before. I don't like snow that looks like it's been peed on. So it's white. And it shows up pretty well. It's hard to see, from a distance because it's so tiny, but it shows up pretty well on this Bristol fabric. So, and actually I was thinking about because my other one of my new starts for September is this Holiday Stroll by Teresa Kogut. And it's 184 by 115. So like 28 count, it would be 15 by 10. And I would need a 15-inch by 10-inch piece of fabric. And on 32 count, it would be 13.5 by 9. And I might, excuse me, there's a dog. Excuse me, dog. I might have a piece of fabric that would work for that. But if not, I was thinking, would I dare to do it on this 46 count because it would be very small and it would be a lot of stitching for such small fabric. Because I kind of like it and I kind of don't. This is probably just the right size to do that tiny because it's
try it with
and
these.
it's no, I can't right now. But it's because it's because this is a pretty simple design. But even so, it was really hard to like sit there and go, is this in the right place? So I don't know if I would have the energy to do this, this big design on here.
I had some kind of fabric really small like this, and I had a long dog sampler, and I started it. I have literally like this much because I had to have a magnifying glass. I'm like, this is not sustainable. It would be really beautiful, but
yeah, my long dog.
If you're not having fun,
no.
If it's too hard, it gets to where it's like, what is it? Lindy Stitches calls it the cough medicine. Where you do it because you have to, or because you've committed to it, or whatever, but you're not really enjoying it, like taking cough syrup. You take cough syrup because you need to, but not because you enjoy it. But anyway, this is my finish for 7 Pines, and it's all done. And I think I'll probably,
did you show your new start?
No, not yet. Make it into an ornament because it's just the right size.
That's cute.
So this is one of my new starts last month was Killdeer. This is Merry Menagerie by the Blue Flower. She did this last Christmas, and so Killdeer. This has 3 patterns: Killdeer, Axolotl, and Blue Penguins. So I just did a little start of the Killdeer last month because I had like one day that I stitched real quick. But the one for this month is this Axolotl.
I asked her if she was going to axolotl questions.
And so I have like 2 weeks of September to do my new start. So this is how far I've gotten on the Axolotl.
I'm contemplating.
So I got his little.
I've contemplated owning one of them. They're so funny.
So these are some of his little antennas.
What did I do?
Over there. And I have to do his little arm. His little arm goes down here somewhere. So, and one of the colors that is in here, when we went to the attic a couple weeks ago, I guess, and they didn't have this one color Santa Cruz. So I'll probably have to, I mean, there's a DMC alternative, but I kind of wanted to do the Santa Cruz thing. And so I'll probably have to order it, because I don't think they didn't even have a slot for it there at the attic. So yeah, so I don't know if it's a new color or whatever, but, so I bought a whole bunch of threads, a whole bunch of threads. Just, you know, because I had a list of like fancy floss things and I just went bananas and bought them all. But anyway, so yeah, so I've gotten a good start on my axolotl. And I'm hoping right here, I'm doing a little bit of thread chicken, and I'm hoping to finish this little antenna thing before my thread runs out. And then I'll, you know, do some more on them. But anyway, yeah, so I think that's me.
All right. Okay, so that brings us to our question of the week. Last week we asked you for your to commiserate with me on weather stories, and you did not disappoint our lovely viewers, which we had 213 views, which is really fun. Okay, so homespun in Wales. Wow. Hello from the UK. Homespun in Wales says that she needs to pull out some of her unfinished objects and make an effort to get them finished. So we're glad we inspired you. She's got lots of starts, just like me. Last winter they had storm, and I'm going to say it wrong, Darragh, D-A-R-R-A-G-H, that was with them for 2 days. No power for 6 days. No water for 5 days.
Wow.
We lost 82 trees on the farm and still clearing the debris. We had structural damage to livestock housing. Oh my gosh. Okay, you win the prize. Wow. That sounds awful to be without power for 6 days. I was thinking about that because...
Well, especially in today's world where you depend on power for so many things.
Everything.
I mean, electricity is what draws the water into your house.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So,
And
I mean, here, I don't know how it is in other places.
yeah, Lori Votero says she saw on the news about the massive dust storm. Ugh. And so she has a couple weather nightmares, and you convinced me, Lori, not to ever live anywhere with snow. Because the first one was that she went to work. She works in a hospital, I guess, overnight, and went to work one night, and a massive snowstorm happened, and she couldn't get back home for 5 days.
Oh my gosh.
We slept on mattresses on the floor in a hospital conference room with overhead paging blaring incessantly for 2 days while we worked 12 hours overnight. Then a coworker took pity on us and let us go to her house for the rest of the time. So that kind of snow, I
lived in that kind of snow.
I can't comprehend. I can't comprehend it.
Like Dennis Duke used to say, you don't have to shovel warm.
Yes. Yeah. And then another time, her nieces and nephews got stuck at her house in the same kind of storm like that. Oh my goodness. So I can't imagine that kind of snow. And I was like, okay, note to self, no snow. Noreen Curry got caught in a fast-moving blizzard in Minnesota. A car got stalled. Several young fellows playing in the snow stopped to help, and they lifted the car enough to get me in the opposite lane, heading home going literally the wrong way. And then Mary Passmore, oh gosh, she said that in March of 24, her town was hit by a tornado. In fact, a block and a half from us, so many houses were destroyed, plus others in town and 3 churches also. We knew a lot of the people that their houses were destroyed. For her damage, she had just 4 roof shingles.
Oh my.
So it's crazy how it hits one house and misses another. Wow,
Yeah,
that's hard.
Like I said, I used to live in fear of tornadoes while I was driving, because I would drive, between Little Rock and Albuquerque, you know, a few times a year, and it was always, you know, in the winter I would drive home for Christmas, and it was always dicey weather then. But there were times when I was driving through, you know, Texas or Oklahoma, and the sky looked really ugly, like there was going to be a tornado any minute or whatever. And I kept looking like, okay, where are the overpasses? Where are the ditches? Where can I, you know?
Yeah.
And just like, you know, please God,
Yeah.
there's some blue sky. And you know, it was just, yeah, it was very scary, you know, to be out in the middle of nowhere, you know. Tornado Alley, you know, I lived in Tornado Alley and in Little Rock, and so yeah, it was.
So
we had some come through. Yeah.
So we have to be like, no, I don't want to live anywhere with too much snow. I don't want to live anywhere with tornadoes. But here I live with dust storms, so
Yeah.
Yeah, but they pass by relatively quickly.
yeah, and they don't come very often. But you know, we're late with all these storms because the
Normally they're
the monsoon is supposed to come like what, July,
yeah.
and we didn't hit us till late August
Yeah.
and early September.
Well, that really bad rainstorm that we had that time came in September, right around this time.
Yeah. So that was last week's question. This week, due to various experiences we have all had, we're wondering, we always complain about it, let us know your funny and frustrating service industry stories. It's just like, you know, we always talk about McDonald's. We give McDonald's a bad rap, but we love their sodas.
Yes, I love the mix on their sodas.
Yeah, their sodas are great. So anyway, we're always complaining. And I have another complaint, so. Although I don't think this had anything to do with McDonald's this time. But it's not a complaint, but it's a funny story. No, this was the person in front of me, in the car in front of me in the drive-thru. Oh my gosh. So, I mean, I don't know. But anyway, so let us know. Share your funny stories with us, your funny, frustrating, whether you were on the service side or the customer side.
You mean
Because
like
I know
being in the Dutch line for an hour this morning?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Or like, you know, because
Yeah, I was in a customer service.
we'd love to know that.
I was in a customer service vortex for a while, for a couple of weeks, when I lived in Little Rock. My
Oh, with your computer?
Well, that and my mail carrier, because it was the mail carrier, the computer, and you know, my mail carrier. I lived at 503 East 7th Street, and there was another apartment building at 503 East 6th Street. But I lived in apartment B, and this girl lived in 503 6th Street, apartment B, but her apartment faced 7th Street. And so this mail deliverer guy would deliver my mail to her house. And I'm like, we cannot both be at 503 East 7th Street? You know, I mean, you know.
Yeah.
So,
use your brain. Use your brain.
Oh my gosh.
Let us know.
So let us know. We're just curious because, you know, we like to share. And so that brings us to our story time. So, this evening, even though I had all day, I told my sisters I had all day to go grocery shopping, but I didn't go until I went to pick my son up. And I just grabbed a few things because
He works at a grocery store, so.
Right, so I was like, I'll go at 6. But then it was like 6:30, and then it was like 5:45, and I'm like, I better leave. So I got there just before he got off. So I was like, real quick, trying to get things. Hi, Rope. You're a sweet dog. Go away. So I was getting a few things, and my cart was pretty full. We have like 0 food in the house, and so my cart was pretty full. And I often go through self-checkout, and at our Fry's, they have the self-checkouts where they have the big shelf on top, and then they have the big carousel. That's where I go if I have a lot of groceries, right?
Yeah.
So I'm heading over there, and this kid, now, Eli's with me. He's at another checkout there in self-checkout. So he's with me, and like, you can tell like he works there or whatever. But anyway, this kid comes to me, and he goes, can you go to lane 17 instead? And I was like, so I'm looking at all the numbers in the self-checkout, thinking like maybe this computer's broken or something. And he goes, it's over there with the full service or whatever. And I was like, why? He goes, well, you have a lot of items. And I'm like, excuse me? Like, I have checked out way more than this in a self-checkout. And there's not like there was a huge line of people. And it's not like it says 10 items or less over the things, which it does not, never has. And I'm like, excuse me?
Ours has these big, long things so that you can just go.
Yeah, no, we have those too,
Yeah.
but I went to the other side because that's where I'm like, are you kidding me? Whoa, I was mad. Eli's like, let it go, let it go. I'm like, I will let it go, but I am mad. Don't tell me where I can check out. Anyway, so then I go to the line dutifully, and I'm like, well, now I have to wait in line. I was so mad. And I get there, and bless him, this young person that was bagging, I told him I'm going to call him Mr. Rings now. He had very large skull-shaped rings on all 10 fingers. And he's trying to bag my groceries, and he's like, puts a few things in, and then he has to and then he puts a few things in, and then he has to fix his rings. I'm like, I don't think those are very conducive to working.
Put them in your back pocket.
I don't wear them to work.
Ringo.
Wear them when you go out to your for your night out or something, but it's just so funny. Like,
I thought you were going to say he was getting his rings caught in your bag.
well, maybe because he had to keep adjusting them, and I'm like, that's not efficient. And also, I'm very particular about how I bag my groceries, which is why I want to bag my own groceries.
Yeah, that's what I used to do. I used to go to self checkout because
I want to bag my own groceries and put everything.
Yeah, but for me, it's because when I lived in Little Rock, I lived by myself, and so if I could put the groceries in the most efficient way, because I had to take them all upstairs by myself.
When I'm like, Eli's like, I don't know these people. I don't know who they are. It's not my fault. I don't work at the front end anymore. He says, I'm like, I know. I said, they need you because it's crazy up there.
We had somebody bagging our groceries last time we went. We bought $300 worth of groceries, right?
Oh,
and we had some guy bagging our groceries, and he'd put one can and like 3 or 4 things that had nothing to do with that can, like some refrigerated item and you're like,
put all your clothes stuff together.
Can I help you bag those?
I know.
That's like the girl I got a long time ago that put 2 6-packs. She was going to put 1 6-pack in it. It was a paper bag, right? And I said, you can put 2 6-packs in there, because you could put them side by side and they would, square up the bag. She put one on top of the other like this.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
you said 2, but no. So I bought a 10-pound flour sack of flour, and I bought a box of cat litter. The cat litter was on the bottom of the cart, but I put it on a thing so they could scan it, which I would have done in my own checkout. Anyway, just sore about it. So he put the flour in the top of the cart, the child seat area. He put the flour. It was double bagged, fortunately, in there. And then I guess he picked it up and put the cat litter there, and I'm like, why are you putting the cat litter by my flower? Stop it. You're too focused on your rings. I don't know what you're doing. And then I come here tonight, and I get in line, and I'm like, okay, because I put them off, because we couldn't do it in the morning, we couldn't record in the morning, and then they had a thing today, and then I was like, I had all day to do, and I was busy. We took the bike and then went to get eggs and then, and all this stuff. So anyway, I put them off, and then I was like, okay, I'm finally coming. And you called me. I had already been in the drive-through for about, 5 minutes by the time you called me, Eve. Mm-hmm. And then the car in front of me got to the window. First of all, the guy said, okay, when we took my order, he said, okay, I'll see you at the second window. Mm-hmm. Well, the car in front of me sat at the first window forever. And then they screwed it up finally. And then they were second in line. And I could hear, because I had my window open, I could hear the woman, "Stop it, shut up," and then the little kids screaming in there and all this. So it was already a chaotic car. They get up to the window, and I see her pay, and then we're sitting there, and then I see her like pay again, and then the guy sticks his whole body out the window, and they're talking, and he's like, okay, and then he comes, and then he gets some other payment from her, and then he sticks his head out the window, and they're talking, and I'm like, if he pops his head out that window again, I'm gonna throw a rock at him. Unless he has food in his hand. Like, I was just like, I'm like, I know this isn't important. I know I need to calm down. I know I need to, like, why am I so angry? And then he'd stick his head out. No. And then he hands her a Happy Meal and a bag. And then it takes forever. And then he sticks his head out and talks to her a minute. And then he hands her a cup. And she still doesn't drive away. And then he sticks his head out again, and I'm like, what is happening? And Eli's like, don't be angry. I'm like, no, I know, I shouldn't be angry, but I'm just like, what's happening? So finally, the car drives off. But as he finally, like, whatever, I don't even remember if it was a transaction again or food or whatever, he looked down the thing, like, to see how many cars were sitting there. And I'm like, yeah, buddy. And so I pull up, and he goes, 4 Diet Cokes. Okay, here.
That's like.
And I refrained from saying, what the heck is going on?
So we went to Chick-fil-A today with the dogs in the car, the dogs and the cats.
We were trying to use time up. And I said, oh boy, there's a long line. And less than 5 minutes.
But so the guy was trying to take our order, and Rogue was the.
I guess she wanted something too.
And he's going, what?
I'm sorry. I have a barky dog.
Oh, speaking of dogs, the other day, I get Chewy deliveries, right? So I have like 3. That one is the cat litter, and one is little cans of cat food, and one is a big bag of dry food and a big bag of dog food. And they're all on different schedules because, we
use them up at different times.
Because I like my little cans I use, pretty quickly. But the big bags of cat food and dog food, I get them very rare. They have a long, several weeks between them or whatever. So the other day, some time ago, that box was delivered, and I thought, usually I get a little warning that says, oh, you have until Tuesday to skip or manage or whatever to do something with this thing. And so I didn't see that, right? And so before I knew it, this box shows up, this big box that I assumed was the cat food and the dog food. And I thought, I don't remember seeing the little notification that it was coming, but whatever. And so, and they charged me for the cat food and dog food. And
it was like a month later.
Yeah, so we didn't need it right away, so it was sitting in the garage.
Unopened.
And we didn't open the box. And so, in the meantime, other things had come, all the other things. And then finally, Eve said, I'm going to open that box because I need the dog food, right? So she goes to open it, and she goes, come here.
And so, like in, what's it, in 9 to 5, will you come here?
So the bag of cat food was in there. But inside there was like 2 bags of dog treats.
There was no dog food.
Yeah, some kind of dog treats and
three kinds of dog treats.
Yeah, and a fluffy like bed cover thing. And I'm like, what the heck? And so Eve's looking around, and she goes, well, here's the invoice, and the invoice has the dog food and the cat food. But so I don't know if somebody there in the warehouse, stuck it in the wrong box.
That's how I first tried a Woobles. We got a random Amazon box with what we ordered and a Wibbles kit. And I was like,
Well, the dogs love one of the treats. It's apples and chicken
Yeah.
together,
oh, cute.
and they just like.
But yeah, so I called the Chewy people right away, and I said, this isn't right. And so they said, oh, sorry,
And I'm out
sorry.
of dog food.
Yeah,
Chewy
so they said,
has the best
Customer service.
Oh,
customer
yeah,
service.
yeah.
They are amazing.
They were here. It was here the next day.
Yeah.
Dog food.
They are amazing.
yeah, and
Very smart people.
and I think I had something like that too, because with Snug, because he's allergic to chicken, and I had chosen a specific food because of that, and I don't know if the brand had changed or whatever, because I noticed that the bag looked different, and I looked at it, and it was like it had chicken something or other, and so I called them right away, and they took care of it right away. But yeah, so
They're so nice.
but
too.
but yeah, so but the dogs don't like the dog bed, so we're gonna have to donate that.
We're going
It's
to
like
donate it to the vet.
Shelter,
The vet,
vet, yeah.
has a big box of donation stuff.
Yeah.
It's Rogue would probably like it, but it's huge. It's
Yeah.
meant for a dog bed. It's like to make a dog bed look like a chase lounge, but it's fluffy.
Yeah.
And Hank's like,
What is that?
Yeah, I don't like that.
I don't like it.
That's funny.
Can you imagine ordering that stuff and you get 2 things of food?
Yeah.
And not the and these are
had to be
bougie
expensive,
treats. These
yeah.
are food quality treats.
Yeah.
Human
Did you try
quality.
them?
No,
Yeah.
no, they smell nasty.
But it's like, yeah, you spend a bazillion dollars
Yeah,
ordering some fancy stuff, and it's like,
And
I
they
don't
charge
order
you
stuff.
when you get 2 bags of food.
Oh, speaking of funny industry stuff on the other side, on the service side, I got this week was crazy phone call week.
Oh yeah.
Crazy phone call week. Well, first of all, one of our brochures, our brochure dropped to another level or another mailing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then, but, our concerts have been on sale since July, and several of them are sold out, like Righteous Brothers and Il Divo and Kenny G and all those guys. Sold out. They sold out in July. And this one woman called, and she's like, I was wondering if you have tickets for Righteous Brothers. Because she had gone online and seen that it was sold out.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, please call the box office for wait list information. So she called and she said, I was wondering if you have tickets. And I was like, no, it's sold out. She goes, I'm just wondering why you would, send a brochure out for concerts that are already sold out. And I said, the brochure was printed before the concert sold out? That's why. It is frustrating and it's awful, but I'm like, we have a lot of concerts.
Yeah. Well, I had 2 phone calls that when I was.
Oh, I was gonna say, but beyond that was the mildest of the crazies that we got this week. It was just bizarre. One lady called and she was like, and so I have tickets and I'm not sure where I'm sitting, and blah, blah, and she just started talking and I was like, ma'am, what is your name? I can't find your.
Yeah.
She just wanted me to read her mind.
There were 2 phone calls that I had when I used to work when I was in Little Rock, and we had marriage conferences, and this one guy had bought a plane ticket to go to a marriage conference, but he had not bought the tickets for the conference yet, right? And so by the time he called us, it was sold out. And he's like, but I already bought it. I'm like, why would you buy a plane ticket when you don't have a seat at the conference? And so I don't remember what we had to do to accommodate him. I don't remember if we were able to put him on the waiting list or whatever. Yeah. But another time, a lady called and she was talking with the customer service rep, and we had a policy of we would do not a full refund, but because we had a processing fee, blah blah blah. And so if you wanted to refund, unless unless somebody died or something, And so, so she was giving the customer service rep a hard time because the girl was saying, I'm sorry, we can't do a full refund. And she said, but we realized we were supposed to go to this conference and we forgot. And I'm like, and part of it was that this particular conference, the computer that spits out these little reminder cards didn't spit them out. But
Still,
if you spend $200 a piece for this conference, or $200 for a couple, you would think you would write it down. But so she was like, well, she said that she was there with her husband and like, weren't we supposed to go to a conference? And the tickets or the brochure or something was on the refrigerator, and they looked at it and it was that weekend. And I'm like, and so, fortunately we had one like there at the conference they were supposed to go to was, I don't know, it was in Los Angeles area. And so one of them was at one place and one was in Irvine or something, Irvine. So they were, similar, areas. And so fortunately that one was coming up, in October or something.
And
the one she was,
write it down.
Yeah, and I told her that, I said, well, so, I said, we can transfer it and with no charge and all that. And she goes, oh, okay. Because she was like getting all mad. And so when I suggested we could transfer it, she goes like, oh, okay. And I said, and you might want to write that down. It's like,
Oh my God. How about the lady that said that they were out of town?
Oh, yes. So when I used to live I lived in Little Rock, but Naomi already lived here in the Phoenix area, and she had, would talk about, the various towns in the greater Phoenix area,
Phoenix
right?
Metro.
So there's Mesa and there's Chandler and there's Tempe, and they're all part of Phoenix. And so one of our conferences was somewhere, I think was it in Scottsdale? I think.
I don't know.
And her,
It's your story.
And so, it was in, one of these little areas. And this woman was, trying to get her son and the son's fiance or something like that into this conference. And I said, I'm sorry, that's sold out. She goes, but they already, but they're coming from out of town and they already took the day off and blah, blah, blah. And so I talked to this girl that was, that handled the waiting list, and she goes, yeah, we can get them in. And so I said, okay, we can make an exception, we can get you in. And so I said, so I was taking her order, and I said, so what are their addresses? And one was like in Mesa, and the other was in Chandler. And they were coming from out of town.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it was all I could do not to laugh at her face. Like, yeah, lady, that's not out of town. That's going across the street.
a cute story we had this week. A man called and he goes, okay, I always buy tickets for us, and I bought tickets yesterday and to surprise my wife. And I bought several shows. And so I go very proudly and tell her, surprise, I bought these tickets for us. And his wife goes, I have to come clean, she says.
What?
She goes, I have to come clean.
Oh.
She says, I went behind your back and bought tickets for Music Fest for your birthday. And they had double booked two concerts. And she had done it way back in July. No, and this is very cute and also a horror story. Very cute, and I was like, that's adorable. I said, that's like the gift of the Magi. So I that's fine. I can refund those tickets. That's my jurisdiction. I can do that. Like we don't do refunds, but in this case, it's like they had 7 concerts total. They've been going for years, whatever. So it wasn't like, it was just one of those funny things. And so I says, well, which ones do you want? And he goes, I want her seats because she bought them a long time ago and they're better seats. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, great. And so it's like, I'll do that, and you'll get an order confirmation from me with your exchanges and everything, and whatever. And I didn't do it right away, but on my notebook, I circled this order is the one we want to keep, you know, but I had both orders up in my windows. And then I was like, okay, I need to do that. So I went into one of the orders and
You did it wrong.
refunded the seats in those 2 concerts. And I was like, okay. And then at about 4:30, I was starting to close up my windows to get ready to like log off and everything. And I saw those 2 orders of that same name, and I was like, wait a minute. And so I double checked, and I was like, oh my gosh. I had refunded the wrong order. And I was like, because our brochure just went out, so people are on there and they're looking and they're buying. So I took his order, the newer one, and in one concert, so what I was going to do was exchange into the concert and grab the seats that I had just returned that were sitting available. So I was able to, for one concert, there his seats grabbed them. Great. So I go to exchange the other one, gone. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. So I called him. It was like 4:30. No, it was like maybe like 4:45. And I said, I'm so sorry. I have to tell you this. I exchanged the wrong seats, and the ones that your wife had, they got sold out from under me. I said, I returned the wrong seats. I said, I'm in the process of exchanging. I'm going to see what I can do, but I'm going to get you in, and but I just want you to know it won't be the same seats. And he's like, I totally understand. It's fine. He was very sweet about it. I said, I'll call I'll call you back. And I ran to our development department because they always keep some back for concert sponsors, that kind of thing. And I'm like, do you have anything I can use for this concert? And she was like, yeah, you know what? That one, I'm all done. Anything that's on hold, you can use. So I got him like front center section. I called him back and I'm like, I am so sorry. I was able to get you seats right in the front center section. Not up front, but still like the coveted section 3. Everybody likes. And he was like, apology accepted. Like, I'm so sorry. Oh, I was dying though. Where you're like, your stomach just drops and you're like, oh my gosh.
There was one time when
I hate that.
There was a certain
I hate messing up.
A certain kind of conference
mistakes.
we were doing at the time that involved physical tickets. And so if you ordered them by a certain time, they would send you the physical tickets. But if you ordered them, past that time, then your tickets will be held in will call at that event, right? And so this man called up and he had, I think he ordered tickets it was past the deadline. And so he was calling about them, and I said, well, they'll be held at will call for you. And he goes, no, I want you to send them to me. And I'm like, there's not time. Like, the conference is like tomorrow or something, I said, they'll be held at will call for you. No, like he wanted me to go out and put them on a truck to him. I was like, that's not, it's impossible. You won't get them in time. It's like, use your brain.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We have to, there's confusion at my organization among our patrons about what will call really means. Well, I keep saying will call means your tickets for this concert will be at this concert, and your tickets for your next concert will be at the next concert. Unless you tell me otherwise. Unless you tell me when I come for the first concert, I want all my tickets. Right. Okay, tell me that ahead of time, but they're not going to automatically be there. And but they will expect it. And I told my friend, I'm like, by next year, everyone in this organization will learn what will call means. So, because there's a new sheriff in town, and this is how we do it. No, I loved the guy that called me when I was at the Phoenix Symphony, and it was downtown. We were having this basketball arena right there. And it was during March Madness, and it was happening down there, the playoffs or whatever. And so I was like, make sure you come early. You know, parking will be difficult. You know,
That's an understatement.
ride. You know, you could ride the light rail, whatever. And he's like, well, will you give me a refund if I can't find a place to park? And I was like,
no.
Sir, we put on concerts. We're not in charge of parking. Like, we even had prepaid parking. I think it was too late for him to buy prepaid parking. And I remember being at that concert that night, and I looked around the home like, look at all the people who figured out how to park and get here without having to have a refund because they couldn't find a place to park. No, we're not going to give you a refund for not finding a place to park. Why would you even ask that?
I was gonna tell my computer story. Back a million years ago, I had ordered a computer, right? And because I live alone and because I'm not home I was not home during business hours, I asked the guys in the mailroom if it would be okay for my computer to be delivered to work, right? So they could be delivered during the day. And so, you know, they said okay. And I think, the business did not do that, right? And somehow they mixed it up. But one thing is they thought
The computer people?
yeah, they thought my account was a business account because I had said to deliver it to this address. But they didn't deliver it to that address. They delivered it to my home address, right? So I got home one day and there was a little sticky note from UPS saying, you know, we missed you, blah, blah, blah. And so if you call before a certain time, they'll take your package off the truck and deliver it, or you can pick it up at the place, or they'll, you know, whatever. Or you can tell them, you know, deliver it to me tomorrow. Well, I wasn't going to be there. They were supposed to deliver it to my office, and so I was home late, and so I had missed the cutoff date for calling. So the next day I called or something, you know, to get it off the truck, and they were supposed to hold it there at the place. And I came home and there was another, we missed you, blah, blah, blah. They didn't take it off the truck. And I'm like, and like if you miss it 3 times, they'll hold it there, you know, whatever. And so, I don't know, it was some crazy mix up. And so I ended up having to go out there. Oh, because I went out there like I was supposed to, like after 3 days or whatever. And it was still on the stupid truck. And I'm like, oh my God. So I went out there again and oh no, there was something that I told them. Because I went out there to get it delivered,
days.
and they didn't have it.
Pre-Amazon days.
Yeah.
And they didn't have it, and so I told them because I was like, and they're like, well, it's new drivers, a substitute driver, blah blah blah. I'm like, that is not my problem. That's your problem. And so I said, you're going to deliver it today, you know, at my home address. I'm going to be home. You're going to deliver it. You know, and so then they like, I don't know, but they delivered it to my front neighbor. You know, it was an old house that was made into apartments, and my apartment was on the side, and they delivered it to the front. I don't know, it was something crazy, and I'm like, that was part of my customer service vortex.
Yeah.
Because I had also ordered a pair of shoes from Penny's or something, you know, in the mail. And they were delivered to my neighbor across the street. Fortunately, she was a very nice person, and she, you know, would bring my mail over. But I'm like,
yeah, it's crazy.
You know, somebody who knows what they're doing, get in a truck and bring me my stuff. You know, it's crazy, absolutely crazy.
Oh, a storm update. Our wall was rebuilt on Tuesday. I got to stay home Tuesday and babysit the Masons, so that was fun. But also, I am so sorry, but it is super late. It's my fault. It's
yes.
super late.
It's 11.
But so we better go so we can get this out for you. Thank you so much for joining, and it's very exciting. So we are at. Oh, I was going to look it up. I missed it. We're like 16 people away from 600.
Yeah.
So we need to start planning our 600 party, and you all need to tell your friends about us and to subscribe, and because we usually have a good party when we reach milestones. So we are 584, so that's fun. So and we must have a lot of new viewers because our viewership has gone up too. We have quite a few views this past week, so we're really grateful.
Yes.
And it's exciting and fun that we have viewers from across the pond too. That's really cool.
Yes.
And so thanks for joining us every week. We try to just share what we're doing and talk about our silly lives, and we're so glad that you're choosing to spend some time with us and getting your whips done. I'm just kidding. I'm not getting my whips done, so who am I to judge? But thanks for joining us, and we hope you come back next week. We'll be here again, and
With bells on.
bells on. I don't know.
No, I'm not going to have bells.
You don't even have glasses on. We used to all be like 3 glasses. Now you're like all special with your special eyes. But anyway.
I had a dream that I popped this eyes out.
You popped your eye out? Oh my gosh.
You know, like it was a contact or something. You know?
I had a really crazy dream this week. It was weird. Oh, I wish I could remember it. But don't pop your eye out. Okay, that's gross. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next week. Bye.
Bye.